Hi guys, got another video for you today. Instead of reviewing a single film, I'm going to go ahead and review an entire franchise this time, and it's the Final Destination franchise. There's 5 films in it. The first one came out in 2000 and the last one 2011. They're looking at doing more sequels, but I've not heard anything since. They said if that 5th one does good, they'll bring out 2 more. But again, I think it did pretty well. Not as good as number 4, but you know, I've not heard any more about the sequels after the film come out. I mean, I really hope there's more sequels, because the Final Destination franchise I'm a massive fan of. It's a guilty pleasure of mine. It gets a lot of stick for being like kind of repetitive and the same thing repeated, but I really like it. So the first one, it's one of them films from my childhood that I've seen segments of loads of times. It was always too scary for me to watch, and I just never could watch it. And the second one is an interesting story related to this for me. Is one night it was on telly, and me and my friends had been eating loads of junk, and I'm not sure if it's because he ate too much or because of like the violence in the film, but I ended up throwing up. And it's the only film. If it was the film, it's the only film that's ever made me physically sick. But again, it could have just been all the sweets and crap we'd been eating. And the third one, I remember this coming out and I was really excited to see it. And yeah, the fourth, this one I wanted to go to the cinema to see it, but I was 14 at the time. I tried to go with an adult, but they wouldn't let me in. And the film stopped showing in the cinemas a couple of days before I turned 15, so that was devastating. And this one I went to see in 3D in the cinema with Katie, my camera woman. I suppose that's stretching it, you know, holding a phone. But yeah, I went to see this in the cinema, and the last 2 are 3D, and the 3D effects in Final Destination 5 were brilliant. They really had a lot to the film, and I really wish I could have watched this in 3D. It is in 3D, like it comes with 3D glasses, but I think you need a 3D telly, which I don't have. I was going to get one, but I didn't. But anyway, yeah. So you get you get 1 disc with this, sorry, yeah, and 2 glasses, which I suppose would be cool if you had a 3D telly, which I don't. So I'm going to talk about each film individually. The first one I absolutely love. It's not so violent as the others, but it's such an original idea. Originally it was for the X-Files, like it was the script was kind of originally wrote for like an X-Files episode, but it was converted into Final Destination instead. And it's just one of them films from my childhood that I've just loved. When I finally did build up the courage to watch it all, I loved it, and I've watched it so many times. I mean, it was just so scary and brilliant. I mean, it's about a plane crash, and the guy, obviously, he has the vision of the plane crashing, and then he wakes up and he's still on the plane, and he warns a certain group of people that they have to get off, and so they do get off, and it turns out they've cheated death because the plane does then crash, and slowly they're killed violently one by the Grim Reaper or Death, which you never really see. Sometimes you see like a dark shadow or a reflection or something, but you never actually see like a physical entity killing these people. And it's all the deaths are made like accidents, and there's some really like crazy deaths throughout the series that really like the people that fought up with them are so twisted and brilliant. And you know, as the series goes on, they kind of get a bit more far-fetched and a bit more outrageous. But you know, the last 2 are very dark and dark comedy with them. Like in the 5th one, I was laughing throughout listening, but in a good way, because I was really enjoying it. So in the second one, like obviously the theme of someone having a premonition and then saving a group of people, it's repeated throughout all the films, and the same happens there, but instead it's a motorway build-up. And I remember watching the car crash, the initial car crash, and it was just amazingly choreographed and brilliantly done. And then the characters, I love the characters and all. I love all the characters in the first 2. They're all brilliant, really well written and really well developed. And it also has a returning character from the first one, and she helps a new bunch of people trying to escape death, and it's just brilliant. Also, there's Tony Todd is in the first 2, and he voices in the 3rd, and he's in the 5th, and he's kind of like a mortician. He works in a morgue, and he knows things about death, and he kind of warns them, but he doesn't give them enough information to really save them. And he kind of points them in the right direction. He's really mysterious, and that's something I really hope they explore and expand on if they do any more sequels. The 3rd one doesn't actually have Tony Todd in it, but it has a voice of him actually at a theme park. And again, there's obviously there's a premonition in this one. This one's a roller coaster, which just strikes fear into anybody that's ever going to ride a roller coaster. Because that's something that I love about Final Destination series. It's like every time I get on a plane, every time I get on a roller coaster, me and my friends are always joking about Final Destination. and it's just has such a lasting impact with you. The films, I mean, the deaths in this are so great. I'd say this one wasn't as good as number 1 or 2, but it's still a decent enough film, and some sick twisted things in there, like the death scenes in it are brilliant. However, Final Destination 3D I didn't like too much. Well, I still love it, but in terms of the whole series, this is by far the worst. I think if this came out before this one, I think it would have done a lot better. I think a lot of people didn't watch the 5th one because of how poorly this one was. It wasn't, well, when I say poor, it was just really poor in comparison to like the rest of the series, because no, a lot of people by now will complain saying it's just the same thing over and over again, but I don't mind that. Sorry. And I still really enjoyed it. The fact that they brought it in 3D probably brought in an extra load of revenue, but it did really well. Like, all the films have done great in the box office, and again, I'd say the characters in this one weren't as good. They were just killed off really quickly, and I don't know, like you don't, like the first 2, you don't get the time to be attached to the characters in this one. There's too much time setting up all these, like, the kills got really ridiculous in this one, I'm going to say, like really ridiculous. Like the first one, some of the stuff that happens in the first one, even the second one, like, are just like could actually happen, and it's really kind of scary, and like it makes you think, like, next time you're in a lift, you think of the death from the second one, or you know what I mean, like the other stuff like that. But this one, it's too far fetched and too, I don't know, it kind of takes away from like the theme of the first one, like it can kill you at any point. I mean, it's stuff like that you don't always do. Like, I've never been to a race course. I mean, it's mainly an American thing. I've never been to one, so it's not as if I ever think of this and think, oh, it's like Final Destination. The Final Destination, actually, it's called The Final Destination, which is not the final one, although timeline-wise it has been. So yeah, that's that one. I didn't like that one too much, and it's the worst in the series to me, but I still enjoy it. The 5th one is probably my second favourite. It's absolutely amazing, and it usually when you go to see a film in the cinema, it enhances the experience, and of course this day, because it was in 3D, but I think even if I watched this at home, it would still be one of my favourites. Some of the deaths in this were a lot better, and the whole bridge collapse thing was, who's not scared of bridges? I'm terrified of heights, and every time I'm on a bridge I think of this. And as I said, the 3D effects were great. I can't talk about the Final Destination, you know, because I didn't see it in 3D. But yeah, a lot of people also complain that why is there number 5 if the last one was called The Final Destination? But you know, this is a prequel, so technically it's still timeline-wise The Final Destination, and this one is a prequel. I'm not saying when or where or, because the twist at the end, by the way, in this film was probably the best twist I have seen. It just blew me away. It was an absolutely brilliant twist. I did not see it coming, and it really made this film really stand out from from 2 and 3 and 1. Like, it was just, the twist in this was brilliant, and overall it was a good film, and I really enjoyed it. Overall for the series, I'm giving the series an 8 out of 10 because I absolutely love the series. I'm a massive fan, and I will watch in the cinema and buy on DVD any that come out. I mean, I've got this as a rental copy, which I'm not happy with. I do intend to buy a proper copy of it, not just rental, because you don't get special features with this. Because I do like special features in films. I enjoy watching them. But because I went to the cinema, I was just wanting it on DVD, so I bought a rental copy. But I'll eventually get a proper version. So for the ratings for the entire series, I'm giving the first one an 8 out of 10. Because it's just such a tense, dark film, and the idea just blew me away as a child. The second one, it continues the situation, it twists it a little bit, and the way it links to the first one as well is great. But this is one of my favourite. Maybe that's a bit nostalgic, but even watching it recently, I still love it. So that's a 9 out of 10. The third one was a bit of a drop off, and I'm giving it a 6 or a 7. Okay, I can't make mine up. 6.5 out of 10. For the Final Destination, I've got to give it a 5 out of 10. It was a massive well, it wasn't a letdown. Like, looking back, reflecting on it after seeing number 5, I think it's kind of not as good, and it kind of ruined the name of the franchise a little bit, and it kind of, I'd say, would have deterred people from watching the 5th one, unfortunately. That's a 5 out of 10, and this one I'm giving it a 7.5 out of 10, because maybe not an 8 out of 10, because I just love this film, and the twist at the end made the film, as well as some great deaths and some really tense moments and some brilliantly dark, humorous moments, especially with the deaths, and like the twist at the end is just amazing. As I said, they did say that they were going to do another 2 sequels, which is 6 and 7. I mean, there's I've been on some forums and talking to a few people, and some people said they could do a prequel, like, and there's been all kinds of ideas mentioned, like what the main disaster could be, or it could be like I mean, it always has something to do with like a vehicle as well, so I'm thinking like a boat or even a train, but that was touched on number 3, so I'm not too sure. And like people again are saying like with the prequel, they could do a prequel as to how Tony Todd's character knows so much about death, like whether he just knows about it, like because he reads books, or whether he is actually a survivor from, let's say, the 80s or the 90s, you know what, like something like that, which I think would be a really good idea, and it would really kind of change your perception of the series. Perhaps he could do something really clever like that. I mean, I don't know. But overall, that is my review of the series, and I really enjoy it. You should definitely check out these films if you've not. I'm pretty sure you would have. But say, for example, if you stopped watching at 4, make sure you watch number 5 because it's great. It's a lot better than number 4, and you just need to check out these films. So yeah, that's all I can think to say at the moment. And thank you for watching. I know it's been a bit long. It's my longest video. Hopefully, it'll get plenty of attention. And you know, you people can let me know what you think about it if you're watching the review. Sorry, let me know what you think about the series because I'm really interested to know. Because I know there's lots of mixed opinions about the series as well, which is pretty which, you know, I don't mind. I don't mind people having an opinion about the series, and I'd like to discuss it with you. So comment and let me know what you think about the series in general, and let me know how you would place the films and what your order would be. That is something I'm interested to see. So thank you, and